and welcome back to Art Therapy with Jen. Today we're going to be working in my Dark Dystopian themed magazine collage art journal. And if this is your first time tuning into this series on my channel, this is a themed journal that I'm doing, and each week is a new chapter or page in this journal exploring different storylines, aspects of this little dark world. So wonder what we're going to learn about this week. We are on chapter 5. There is a playlist if you'd like to see the previous chapters or the ones after this, linked on the channel and down below, as well as in the end screen I think it's called, toward the end of the video. But I'm mainly going to be using magazine clips today and a Sharpie, so we're going to keep it simple and we're going to see what story this week comes about as these images come together. And as most times, I like to start with my background. So I've gone through my stash that I've kind of pulled for this journal, and I've just flipped through and seen which ones are kind of wanting to go on the page today, and I've set them all around my journal on my desk, and I just journal and pick images just intuitively and start building up the page. Now this page, there's a lot of dark tones mixed in with some purples and gray metallics, and we'll see some pinks and just some really rich hues going on here that is going to make up the background. And I just go along and I start pasting and start building it up and just build up our background or our base for this chapter. And I've had some questions. I don't plan these out. I just kind of go with it, and then as I look back on it, I see kind of what story can be made out of this. And there's no right or wrong answers. I love your all's input in the comments, what you see in the pages and where you think the story is going. And a lot of times y'all get me to look at things and think about things that I had never thought of before. And even now, going back and editing these videos, I see things I never saw before and things that come together, at least in my mind, and just kind of add to the story. So I'll be interested to see what y'all think. And it's always just fun to put down some magazine, let your imagination run wild, and kind of see what's going on in this world here. It's totally open, and it's just a really fun creative exercise. It's almost like writing prompts, but with glue and glossy pictures. So now that might be a fun thing to do, like take a journal page and make a writing prompt from it. That would be neat. If my grammar was still on point with writing, we might try that, but I think I'll just stick with the images. But someone who is a very good writer, I could see some interesting things coming about from certain prompts. But anyway, enough about that. You see, we're getting the background put together, and this image I'm putting down here, I'm kind of cheating a little bit because it has a face in there, so it's going to kind of set the tone for this whole page there toward the upper right part. It's this image that almost looks like a broadcast glitching out, or TV static, or when you're filming and you get those pixels that aren't working and there's a face hidden behind it. So what do y'all think? Is she hidden, or is she coming through the little glitch static there? And funny stories. Let's take a close-up look first. I did not even realize when I was first putting this page together that her face was there until I started editing this video, and it's kind of haunting to me. Like, she snuck in there on me. So she's definitely a big part of this. And now we're going to add in some more characters here. So first we have this woman who is under this treatment type lamp. I'm not sure how to say it. Y'all use your imagination, but she's laying under this device that's putting this warm light onto her, and she just looks out of it. And then underneath we have this woman on this very like luxurious couch, marble wall, and this was kind of giving me vibes. I want to think it was from the old Fahrenheit 451 movie that was in the 70s. I may be remembering wrong, but where they had all these devices that they would just stay in their homes and never go out, and they lived in luxury but never got to leave their homes. And then we have this girl who is looking out, I believe it's a bus or a subway window, just really looking out over this city. It looks like it may be akin to maybe like Hong Kong or Singapore. I can't really tell. There's a lot of water and there's a lot of tall buildings and some mountains back there. So she looks like she's deep in thought. And let's take a look at all of them together. How do you think they fit together? So thinking that the girl in the like glitch static is still so haunting to me. So let's start to add some words and see if that gives us some more insight. So toward the upper left, I'm going to start with how to change. And then under that, I'm going to put memories. So how to change memories. So maybe that has to do with that device that woman's getting, that light down on her. And then we're going to add miracle cure. Maybe it allows you to forget some bad memories. Would that be something y'all would want to do if you had some really bad memories? I don't know that I would. I do have some things I would surely love to forget, but I feel like I need to remember the lessons that went with those things. And then we're going to put the future of, first I'm going to put how to have the whole world at your service. And then we're going to add the future of. And then creature comforts. So again, this goes with that whole, you have the whole world at your fingertips, and it seems like a good thing, but also, who controls that service that you're viewing, if you will? Something to think about. In the upper right, we have the future will be. And then we're going to add reinvented. And we have that from the last chapter where it was talking about changing the present to keep from a future that everyone thinks will be bad, but inadvertently you make it even worse. Then we're going to Frankenstein two pieces together. It says rethink, and then under that we're going to be putting perfect. So rethink perfect. So maybe these are all things to help people achieve that more quote unquote perfect. We all see those ads all the time, become a more perfect you, but what does that really mean? And then for our girl looking out the window there, it says, what if peace and calm are the last things that I want? Maybe this idea perfect is not her idea perfect, even though that's what everybody says she should want. And then on the bottom right, we're going to put, we're outsiders looking for a way in, and I'm willing to play along. So I think maybe she may be on her way to going to one of these places to see what it's all about. And she's playing along so she can get some more information. I'm not sure, y'all. I'm not sure. What do y'all think? I find it interesting, too. We have another one of these city-like buildings toward the lower right as well. I know some of y'all that live in like metropolitan areas and areas like this, these buildings may be pretty mundane to you. I live out in the middle of the boonies and we don't have buildings like this, so they're very almost otherworldly to me in a way, if that makes sense. So, you know, I'm used to seeing little small like country structures, so seeing these very industrialized buildings with subways and transits and transit buses and stuff. It's always like a whole nother world to me. So I'm also going to be going around and adding Sharpie just to color in the middle where that spine splits, and to just circle around those words. I think it adds something because we have such dark tones in the background, and it makes those characters, we have those women, really pop out, and the words kind of go back a little bit. I also, let me throw out a weird theory for y'all, because y'all have had me rethink some of these chapters and pages, and just my mind's going crazy. So I've noticed throughout, I've always had like a blonde character on each page. And if you remember in chapter 1, we started with the blonde that was in Resistance and Bloom. Do y'all think it might be the same person? Maybe at different times, learning different things. Maybe she led to the destruction of her place that she was at, and so all of the people had to move and kind of be under control or manipulated in this new place. And maybe the more she learned, the more she realized maybe that wasn't a good decision. I don't know. But let's take a look at this finished page, y'all. In chapter 5 here, I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet. Maybe Rethink Perfect. I like it. I think I might go with that. But thank y'all so much for tuning in to chapter 5. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Again, thank you so much for the support and engagement on this series. I'm having a blast with it, and it's just neat to really dive in and explore things and just kind of let your creativity run wild. I'm curious if any of y'all are journaling or are going to try journaling this way, where the page just needs to tell you a story wherever that goes. Like I've said before, it doesn't have to be anything like too complicated. Just pick an image and see where that image, like what's the story for it. I always think of it as like these are, I guess in this case it would be episodes, but you know, it's almost like a movie poster to me. If you had a movie about this and you saw the poster, and it kind of gives you snippets of what's happening in this story and what you can expect. I guess these would be like little mini episode trailer posters, or I don't know, maybe I forget what they call it, but almost like those shows where it's all set in the same world, but each episode explores a different like story or aspect of that world, like a collection. I'm not sure how to do it. Kind of like that show, what's it called? It was on Netflix, Black Mirror, maybe? I may be remembering that correctly. I'm not sure. I'm terrible with names, but I just have fun with it. And thank you again so much for watching, and I hope to see you next week when we jump into chapter 6. Thank y'all so much. Bye, y'all.